Welcome back. Thank you for visiting the channel. This is Jen and I am going to show you guys how to fill some nails after filing off a bunch of your builder gel. So in the previous video I had filed down my left hand and got all the dip powder off and got down to my builder gel level and wanted to do another fill on that. So I have had these on for about 4 weeks. I just felt like it wasn't quite time to soak it off, and as I'm doing this voiceover, I have done a manicure since that you guys will see, and I did soak off my builder gel, and wow, it took a long time. I did hear that builder gel isn't really made to be soaked off. I mean, I did get it done, but it took me at least 45 minutes to get it off. And I actually filed all my dip powder off first. I used a really coarse drill bit on really high speed and did it really gently to get all the dip powder off. And it still took a long time to soak off. That hard gel really is tough. So now that I redid my nails and I have builder gel on them again, I'm definitely not going to soak off for another at least 4 weeks. So I'll probably actually do another builder gel fill if I really want to. So in this video, I did go ahead and file off all my old stuff. You guys saw that. And I pushed back any of that cuticle to expose my new growth. And I do use a glass cuticle pusher. It's my favorite thing to use. I think it's great. It really gets all that invisible cuticle off and pulls up all the dead skin really well. So I went ahead and did that on all my nails, and then I use my cuticle bit to get all the excess dead skin off as well. And you'll see on my last 2 nails that I didn't file completely down. Those were pretty thin from the previous set that I had on, and underneath there is my natural nail. So I wouldn't, and there's no clear under there, so I would not recommend taking and filing with a coarse bit on any part of a possibly exposed natural nail. I would really only do it on a product, on a finished nail. So if anything, I would soak those last 2 nails off. Again, my nails are kind of on the thin side. I did a previous video where I did the Elmer's glue, and I think it ruined my nails. So you'll see I have a little bit of color left on there. That is Vogue from the first time I used color over my builder gel, and I think I filled over that. So that's kind of embedded in between layers of builder gel. So I really couldn't get any of that off. So that color, it's so beautiful, isn't it? That is Vogue by Revel. So I'm going to do layers of that, and then I will do 2 exit nails in between. So I think I do 3 layers of color, I believe, on these. And as a tip, do your cream colors first, activate them, and then move on to your glitter. I find it's just the easiest way to not contaminate any of your clear colors. Here, what I'm doing, because that area is so small to fill, to put dip powder in that little tiny gap of growth, I kind of turn my finger almost as a nail tech would look at your hand if you were receiving a new set. It's like to turn it that way and make sure I get really close to the cuticle, and then I did use a dotting tool around there. Again, just flipping your hand in that direction just gives you a better view of your cuticle and really how close you need to get without getting it all over your actual cuticle. So that's why I did that. So I will do 3 dips, and then I will move on to my 2 middle fingers.
Like that.
So I went ahead and dipped my middle finger there in a custom color that I made. It's kind of hard to tell with my lighting here, but that color is kind of like a purpley pink nude mauve kind of color. And what I'm going to do is, again, I did all my cream colors, and then I'm going to not activate that middle nail because I'm going to put a layer of bubbly on top of it, but I did activate all my solid colors just again so I wouldn't contaminate anything. So I will just do one dip of bubbly. Make sure you wipe off any excess powder in between all of your dips, and then after you apply any shimmer or glitter like that, just so it's not too thick. And I will go ahead and do that, and then I will move on to the glitter on my ring finger. Like that. And that ring finger, that is actually a custom dip that I made myself. It's got a lot of magenta in there. It's got some gold and some finer glitter under there. I really tried to make this chunky dip powder a one coat glitter. I didn't want to do multiple coats because the more coats of glitter you do, the thicker and thicker it gets. And this one, even my base was a little on the thick side, so I end up doing a little bit more filing than I would like, but it does work out in the end. I do put a layer of clear over it, of course, so you can file on the glitter. And I was removing a set just a few days ago, and I've never really noticed or paid much attention when I drill off a glitter, but I have heard that, if you file right on top of a glitter without having clear, that the glitter can turn silver, because usually most of the color is on the outside. So when you file through a glitter, it turns silver, which is the interior color. And that actually happens. So I can definitely say that that is true. So always use a clear on top of any chunky glitter. I don't do it on shimmers. I've said that before. I just don't feel like all of them need it, unless you're going to do an extensive amount of filing, unless your stuff is really, really chunky and bumpy, which can definitely happen depending on the liquids you use, the thickness of your liquids. It can get a little out of hand, so if you feel like you have to do a lot of filing, just go ahead and do a clear over the shimmer. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. So I am going to go ahead and do some pretty standard filing. I start with my my fine sanding bit, as always. Again, there's really nothing too exciting that I'm doing any different here that I ever do, different on any other mani. So I would just file as normal, pay close attention to that cuticle line, make it as flush and smooth as I possibly can so I don't get any lifting or ridges or anything of that nature. So I will file as normal and then move on to my top coat. So I wanted to pop in here real quick and just comment on filing this middle nail. You will see that I was able to file the underneath side of that nail. The only reason I can really do that is because it is an artificial nail. Normally, if that was my natural nail and I had my natural length, I would definitely not file underneath, because that would be my natural nail unexposed, and all I would be doing is thinning that nail. So I just wanted to pop in and say that that's the only reason why I am doing that. Normally, if it is my natural nail, I only file on the top and the sides. Again, I think over filing is definitely part of the reason why my nails were as thin as they were, and probably improper filing. I am, again, still learning and perfecting everything, and that would be a learning lesson for me to definitely not do again, is to aggressively file even on top of a dip when I'm trying to remove products. So just be really mindful of how aggressively you're filing after you do your dip process. And then here again, that little zhuzh of my drill underneath, I was actually just hitting a couple pieces of glitter that were stuck under there. That one is my natural nail. So kind of look down your nail, kind of like, down the barrel of it, for lack of a better word, and just make sure that the sides of it are nice and thin and kind of tapered in a little bit. It'll give kind of a more natural shape, almost like that C curve of a nail that people are looking for. No one really wants flat nails necessarily. So I'm just going to file this thing to death, of course, make sure it has a good shape, and finish filing up my last little baby pinky there. And then I will move on to some top coat here. And with this top coat, I always, like I've said, I always start at my pinky and move on to my thumb. And I do notice sometimes that I have little corners of my thumb that won't cure well. So you can kind of rotate your fingers back and forth when they are in your lamp if you're using a gel top coat. Dip top coat, of course, it just air dries. You don't have to worry about that. But if you're using a gel top coat, it does need to go in the lamp, and you want to make sure that you kind of cure all those sides, because I do notice sometimes that I don't have those little shiny areas. So just pay close attention, make sure. I always make sure to cap my edges, all my sides, and my tip, just so I don't have any peeling. I know people do complain sometimes that they will have some peeling of that top coat. And generally, to troubleshoot that, you can just keep your nail a little bit rough. Don't use a nice smooth buffer. If you're going to do a gel top coat, you want to leave it just a little bit rough so it sticks to it, almost like something sticking to Velcro. You need kind of something to adhere it to. And of course, be mindful of getting it on your cuticle area too, because as that hardens, when it becomes a harder gel, it can kind of start to lift in the corners if you have too much of the gel on your cuticles. So I will just finish that up here, and then I will put my nails in the lamp for 60 seconds. All right, so there it is. I'm just going to finish up with cuticle oil. Let me know what you guys think, if there's anything you want to see or any questions you have. And please like and subscribe. As always, we love the support naturally, and we love to hear any feedback or what you guys would like to see or done differently. And of course, any questions. So till next time, bye guys.